Oh my gosh. I am speechless about TNA right now. But I'm not just here to review TNA, I'm here to review WWE. Ow. I got new braces on, so these two teeth hurt, but I'm here also to review WWE main event, but I'll do that first. I don't get it out of the way, because I'm just so speechless right now. It's off stuff. So, this main event happened on June 26, 2013, and I was going to review it last night, but my sister was being a bitch and took the laptop from me. And I don't have my camera. So we get The Miz and Josh Matthews on commentary. It's okay. So then we get Chris Jericho versus Cody Rhodes. This actually was a pretty good match. I liked this match. What happens in this match is Chris Jericho goes after the eye that I'm holding right now, because actually it's bothering me right now, but he goes after Chris Jericho's eye, and he continues to work over the eye, so it prevents Chris Jericho from getting back into the match. Chris Jericho does come back, but then he goes for the walls, but Jericho gets out. No, Cody Rhodes gets out of it and hits the beautiful disaster kick on Jericho, but he doesn't get the pinfall. Cody Rhodes just the crossroads, but Chris Jericho kicks out, and then Chris Jericho hits the cold breaker on Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes gets his foot on the rope, and then he gets him in the walls of Jericho for the win. Pretty good match. I liked it. Rob Van Dam returns. I'm looking forward to that guy coming back. And then we get Antonio Cesaro and Zeb Coulter promo. This was a pretty good promo by them. We talked about how the Americans are taking away things from the people of Cesaro. Well, not the Americans, the Spanish and all the guys from this country are coming in, sneaking across the borders. But Cesaro did it the fair way, and he says that he talks about pretty much things that Americans do, like why people have to why when he wakes up in the morning people say hola instead of good morning. How people talk about the emergency contact stuff, why it's in Spanish. It was pretty good stuff right there. Cesaro said that he is a real American every day he wakes up. Then we get Walkoff, Felix Sad, and the call. Then we get Dean Ambrose versus Christian. Pretty good match here. Dean Ambrose did a clothesline on the outside. Christian came back. But then Rollins and Reigns came out and attacked Christian. So then the Usos came out and made the save. It was fine. And so then on SmackDown it announced that it's going to be the Shield versus Christian and the Usos. I hope the Shield win, because that will make them look really weak if they lose. So then we get the WCW War Games ad and the main event ad, and we get a Raw rebound. It shows the stuff that's going on with CM Punk and Paul Heyman. Then we get the Primetime Players versus Tons of Funk. Some odd reason. Tons of Funk. It was the Funkadactyls, and I forget who the other chick was. But they were singing the theme song, so I didn't really care for that. But it's okay, because that made me want the Primetime Players to win the match even more. So Darren Young hits Brodus Clay in the shoulder with his comb, and then he holds Brodus Clay down while Titus O'Neil covers him. So I'm glad they won, because it builds up momentum for their match on Raw with CM Punk and Curtis Axel. So I was fine with that. So we got a bunch of big things on SmackDown coming up tomorrow. We're gonna get the Usos and Christian versus the Shield. We're gonna get Alberto Del Rio's Championship Fiesta, and the Miz Paul Heyman's gonna be on Miz TV to talk about this whole Brock Lesnar situation. So that's fine with me. So now let's get to TNA, which I really want to talk about. So this TNA happened on June 27th, 2013. We get Taz and Mike Tenay on commentary. It tells you what happened last week with the whole with the main event Mafia stuff and Bound for Glory series stuff. Hold on one second. I hope I didn't just delete my thing. No, okay. Okay. Then we get a Sting promo. He introduces Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle comes out and talks about how what the group used to be like. How if the only way you can join the group is if you're a former world heavyweight champion, and they rose to the top and no one was able to stop them, and that's right now the Aces and Eights. They talk about how Kurt Angle and Sting are the new the Hall of Famers, but that doesn't mean anything to them. The things that will mean stuff to them is if they take out Aces and Eights and make sure Bully Ray loses the World Heavyweight Championship, and they're gonna find. And later on tonight, you're gonna find out the newest member of the Main Event Mafia. I thought that was cool. And then it shows Chris Sabin win the X Division Championship, and then Aces and Eights attack Chris Sabin. It's Mr. Anderson, Bully Ray, and Doc. They didn't really attack him, but Bully Ray talks about how you shouldn't cash in your opportunity at the X Division Championship because Bully Ray is bad. And he talks about how you and your little X Division guys are okay, but I'm the baddest man. I'm a bad dude. So if you cash in the X Division Championship for the world title, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. And then he wishes him luck, so that was cool. And then we get ShopDNA.com ad. We get Adam O'Lino. He's going to be on Backstage. He's going to be on Gut Check. And we get a video package of him. He says that he loves to be in the camera and that I didn't really pay attention to him. I didn't really care. I don't care about Gut Check anymore after they didn't accept Adam Pearce. So then we get Chris Sabin defending the X Division Championship against Suicide and Kenny King. This was a pretty good match here. Suicide does a flying drop kick to Kenny King, and then Chris Sabin flies out on the outside. And then Kenny King mocks Suicide by going through the ropes, and then Suicide drop kicks him. And then Kenny King does the suplex power bomb to Suicide and Chris Sabin, and then he goes for the pin, but he kicks out. And then Kenny King goes for his finisher. I think it's called the Wall of Flush. And then but Suicide first Chris Sabin hit his finisher, the one leg pile drive, I think it's called. But Suicide drop kicks him. Then he goes for that, and but Suicide reverses it, and then he holds the ropes while he wins. So then Suicide becomes the new X Division champion. I was shocked. I actually thought Chris Sabin was going to win and go on to get his World Heavyweight Championship match. That surprised the hell out of me. But then Hulk Hogan comes out with some guy, and he says that he introduces T.J. Perkins, who's been working for TNA for a while, and he is Suicide, and he was attacked backstage in the locker room by this Suicide, and he wants him to unmask himself, but he doesn't, and he runs away. So I actually was really surprised. I was wondering who Suicide was, and you're gonna find out later tonight who it was. It was actually really shocking. So then we get the Bound for Glory ad, and then it shows Suicide win the X Division Championship. You know, the stuff I just told you about. Hulk Hogan's backstage, and he says that by the end of the night, Suicide will reveal who he is. Ryan Howell's backstage, and Ryan Howell video package. He was a musician, and he, I guess, got into wrestling by playing music at wrestling events, and people said that he had the look and the style to be a wrestler, so he was a wrestler. That's kind of his story. And then we get Ryan Howell versus Adam O'Lino. This match was boring. I didn't care for it. Adam O'Lino wins with the power slam. No, with a scoop slam. Sorry, a scoop slam. What's the care? That was boring. The best gut check match ever was Adam Pearce versus that mask guy they had. I forget his name, but I didn't care for that, and I never will care for that. So, yeah, I didn't care. who cares? So then we get Kurt Angle and Cena backstage. They're talking about who could be in the main event Mafia, and then they go and talk. I don't know what that was. T.J. Perkins is backstage, and Bully Ray thinks this is like a setup, and that he's going to be in the new main event Mafia. And T.J. Perkins says he doesn't know anything about it, because he was just attacked for real. So Bully Ray says that that kind of keeps asking him the question, but T.J. Perkins says no, and then he just leaves. So I thought that was okay. Mickie James and Velvet Sky rivalry. They show everything that's been going on. So then we get Mickie James defending the Knockouts Championship against Velvet Sky. Pretty good match. It was a pretty good women's match. Mickie James tries to get out of it by saying that how Velvet Sky's become more competitive and that she's not who she used to be anymore. And Velvet Sky says that, and says she wants Velvet Sky to drop out of the match, but she doesn't do it. She attacks Mickie James, and they both brawl. And then Mickie James starts to dominate the match. Velvet Sky does by taking on her leg. She does anything she can, but Mickie James starts to come back, and then Velvet Sky hurricanrans her on the outside, and then Velvet Sky spears her and punches her, and then she gets her in the way. Mickie James hits the DDT, but Velvet Sky kicks out. She goes for a finisher, but Mickie James counters and hits the, it wasn't really a sharpshooter, it was kind of like a Texas cloverleaf, and then she kind of gives it like a crossface, and then Velvet Sky taps out, and Mickie James wins the match. Velvet Sky is so heartbroken after the match, she won't even stay for the interview. So I don't know what's going to happen now. If anything, it was an okay match. Mickie James, so we're probably going to get another match. I hear, actually wait, probably going to get, in the future, Taryn Terrell versus Mickie James for the Knockouts Championship. I want Gail Kim to win, but it's just not going to happen. So then the next match, well then it shows the debut of T.J. Perkins. It shows that whole suicide stuff. And then it shows Kurt Angle and Sting's promo from earlier in the night. Then Kurt Angle and Sting are backstage again, and Bobby Roode just walks by him and heads to his match. Didn't know what that was either. And then Hulk Hogan and the referee are backstage. Hulk Hogan's asking if there was anything different about suicide when he was out there, but he says no, like his win work and stuff. And then Hulk Hogan says that if Suicide doesn't unmask tonight, he's stripping him of the X Division Championship. I thought that was fine. Magnus versus Bobby Roode in a Bound for Glory series match. This was actually a pretty good match. Magnus hits that diving elbow, and then I actually thought Roode was done, but he kicked out. Roode hits a spine buster. He goes for his finisher, not the crossface, his different finisher, but he gets out. But Magnus gets out of it and hits his body slam move for the win. I was really mad because I wanted Bobby Roode to win, and I really like Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode, but they're making Bobby Roode kind of look weak right now. I don't know why, but I like the fact that Magnus is at least being used. So yes, it's a plus and a negative, I guess, positive and a negative. So right now, Magnus has 17 points in the Bound for Glory series. That's fine with me. James, Storm, and Gunner are backstage going to have a promo. Aces and Eights are backstage. They walk up to Chavo Guerrero, Robbie E, and Jesse Goddard and ask them if they know anything about this suicide thing. And Chavo Guerrero doesn't know what he's talking about, and he actually tells Robbie E to shut up. And they said that they don't know about anything about the Robbie E stuff, and Bully Ray says that if you guys know anything about it, they will be making the biggest mistake of your life. And then he tells Jesse to lower on the carbs, and I thought that was really funny. So, and then Robbie E says that you really do need to lower on the carbs. And then we get James, Storm, and Gunner promo. They talk about how they're not signed, because he says that tag team wrestling's about science. Is all about science, but they're not scientists. But they are a perfect tag team, and that they're looking forward to facing any tag team that they've got. Taylor, Jesse, and Robbie E come out, and Robbie E says that James Storm made the biggest mistake of having Gunner be his tag team partner over him, and now it's too late to have him be his partner because it's now Jesse and Robbie E, and they call themselves the Bromans. And James Storm kind of makes fun of it by saying, "Did you guys say bromance? Because I didn't know you guys felt that way about each other." And the crowd chants bromance, and then Jesse says that he's got the hottest girlfriend ever, Taylor. Then he says that she's what do they call? He calls her a butterfly. I'm assuming that means like a slut or a whore or something. And then Gunner just attacks Jesse after, and then they leave. This is probably going to be a future tag team championship feud. Kind of sad because James Storm, I was doing so much better stuff last year. He was beating guys like Kurt Angle in the Bound for Glory series. He almost won the thing, and he's just kind of in this. It's kind of sad. I hope this. I like James Storm. I want to see him do better things. He's not better things for last year. I don't get what they're doing. Like, how do you go from? He was like in a great feud with Bobby Roode, and yeah, they went to the tag division, but Bobby Roode's going downhill now too. So I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. I want things to be different with that. And then Stan and Kurt Angle are backstage. So the interviewer that's interviewing them asks them what they think about the suicide thing, if they're related to him. So then they're gonna go talk to that suicide guy. I don't think he ever did, because it does seem like it haven't happened. Then we get a one night only Hardcore Justice ad. Could be good, could be bad. Then we get Mr. Anderson versus Samoa Joe in a Bound for Glory series match. This match was okay. He wasn't a big fan of it. Mike Knox and Doc come out and distract Joe, and Anderson hits the DDT on him, but he doesn't get him. And when I was watching the match, like, no, he's not gonna pin him off with DDT. It's not gonna happen. Then Angle and Sting come out and attack Mike Knox and Doc. So then Samoa Joe gets the bare naked choking on Mr. Anderson, and he taps out. So now Samoa Joe has 12 points in the Bound for Glory series. And then they celebrate with Sting and Kurt Angle, and the main event Mafia music hits. So I like that music too. It's kind of like that. It has that Japanese feel to it. But yeah, I guess, and Samoa Joe is now in the new main event Mafia. And then Hulk Hogan's backstage heading to the ring to go see who Suicide is. And then Sting is like I said, they finally let him in. They gave him like the tuxedos because they were wearing tuxedos, and that's all that really happened. Because I guess he wants to take out Aces and Eights too, because they've done a lot of damage to him, just like they've done a lot of damage to Kurt Angle and Sting. Then we gotta find out who Suicide is. This was pretty cool. So Hulk Hogan tells him to take the mask off, but he shakes his head no. So then Bully Ray comes out and says that he wants to see who this guy is, but he won't take his mask off. And Bully Ray says that if you challenge me for the World Heavyweight Championship, you'll be making the biggest mistake of your life. And facing me is like facing powers of God. No, powers of Bully Ray. And then he tells him to just walk away. But Suicide says no, and then he grabs the microphone and he gets into like this deep dark voice, and he says that over the years I've seen these people, and people have asked, and you've asked these people if they know who you are, but you're asking me who you know, if you know who I am. And he says that he's beat me before, so I was like, who is this? And then he takes the mask off, and it's Austin Aries. That was awesome, I think. I actually think Austin Aries was the perfect guy. And he says that he's going to beat Bully Ray to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. This was pretty cool, because I wasn't expecting it to be Austin Aries. I was expecting it to be someone in the Aces and Eights, and it was going to be like a scam, so that way that person wouldn't have to face him for the title. Like, I was expecting it to be like Garrett or something. But I like the fact that it was Austin Aries. That was cool. That was unexpected. Um, as for TNA, it was a pretty good show tonight. Because of the suicide stuff and this new main event Mafia they got going on. I think they got good members so far. I want to see more. Like, I like the fact that Angle's in it. He's kind of obvious though because he was in it before, and Samoa Joe's in it. I think he was in it though, so it's not really new. It's just recreated. I think the only guy that's not going to be in it, because I know Kevin Nash was in it. I don't think he's going to be in it. Booker T's obviously not going to be in it, so because they're in WWE now. So, but this was a pretty good Impact tonight. The stuff that I think you should go watch is the Suicide stuff, because that was great, and that Magnus Bobby Roode match wasn't bad. I was just mad about the winner, and the Suicide match and the Activision match. That was good. But that's pretty much it for TNA and main event. I forgot to review main event too. Go watch the Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho match. That's really the only match worth watching because the Ambrose Christian match is ended under disqualification. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna be doing videos probably all weekend. I'm gonna be reviewing that one night only Joker's Wild thing they had for TNA, and then I'm gonna review on the and then I'm gonna be on the Talkinator site in the future. But that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.